Hey gorgeous, it's Bex Burton here, and I am so tickled to present to you this all new complimentary web training, How to Attract a High Quality Relationship Ready Man and Say Goodbye to Mr. Unavailable Forever. This training is going to support you in not only identifying who Mr. Unavailable is, you're going to be able to spot him from a million miles away, and we're also going to take a look at the activities, the practices, the behaviors that we're doing as women that perpetuate the cycle of attracting unavailable men. And I'm going to give you a tool, some strategies on how to break that pattern. Okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. How to attract a high quality relationship ready man and say goodbye to Mr. Unavailable forever. Now, the very first thing that we need to do in order to begin a new process or break a pattern or a cycle is to get into our heart space. So I would like to ask you to join me in 3 deep breaths, and I'll walk you through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a hand over your heart, and I want you to feel for either your heartbeat or the warmth of your skin. I want you to close your eyes and find a comfortable seated position in your chair. We're going to start by exhaling all of the air out of your body so that we can begin with our 3 deep breaths. And go ahead and breathe in through the nose, inhaling, filling the belly space first. Keep breathing into the base of the ribs and keep breathing all the way up into the lungs. And then on your exhale, you're going to breathe out through the mouth and you're going to breathe out slowly with intention and purpose. So holding onto that breath, just creating a nice, steady, slow stream of exhale. And repeat, breathing in through the nose, filling the belly, base of the ribs, expanding the chest, till you have no more room for breath. And then exhaling slowly through the mouth, feeling the chest lower, the tension in the abdomen release. And one last time, and I'll join you, breathing in through the nose. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And exhaling out through the mouth until you have nothing left of the body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes open and release your hand from your heart. And let's dive right in. So today we're talking about how to attract a high quality man who's relationship ready so that we can kick Mr. Unavailable to the curb, right? So you are in the right place, sister, if you are a woman who consistently attracts unavailable men. And if that's you, my heart is here with you. I deeply connect with you. I'll talk about that in just a moment, how that used to be me. You're also in the right place if you fear you can't have what you want, or if you have a belief that what you want doesn't exist. All right. Now, this is a really powerful belief. It has a big hold on us. And our work today is going to work on working through that. You're also in the right place if you get stuck in your head and you overthink your dating process to paralysis. Sister, I hear you. I have worked with a number of analyzers before in my life, and the analysis paralysis is a real thing, and I'm going to give you a tool today that's going to help you shift back into your heart, back into your frontal lobe, so that you can keep moving forward towards your beloved. Okay? So by the end of this training, you're going to be able to understand exactly who Mr. Unavailable is. You're going to be able to spot him from a million miles away, right? This is so key because the number of women that I speak with, and I know for myself, oftentimes we get so far down the road with Mr. Unavailable, then it's just painful to at the point that we have to release him and move on. All right. You're going to be able to discover the conscious and unconscious ways that you're attracting Mr. Unavailable into your life. There's some things that you know that you're doing aren't very good for you, but there's some other things that are in your blind spots, in your shadow, that we're not aware of. So we're going to cover a whole bunch of behaviors and activities that you might resonate with and recognize yourself in. You're going to be able to close the energetic links leaks that are sabotaging your efforts to attract a high quality man. So this goes hand in hand with those unconscious behaviors, those things that are in your blind spots. I'll give you some tools to close those energetic leaks. And you're going to be able to tap into your raw magnetic radiance as a high quality woman that high quality men can't resist. All right, these commitment minded men, when you show up as this kind of high quality woman who's in her unique raw radiant magnetism, men cannot resist. All right, we'll get you there. And we're going to stop the internal energy that you're creating that perpetuates the cycle of attracting unavailable men. All right, again, things that are in your blind spot, not only the behaviors, but the energy. All right. And at the end of the training, I have a free gift for you that will give you inspiration and encouragement along your journey. All right. And I'm really excited about this free gift. It's a passion project of mine that I think you'll get a lot of value from. So stay until the end and you'll get the link to claim that free gift. And one other thing that I want to let you know up front is that I will be giving you an invitation towards the end of the training. Because here's the thing, like, this literally is the tip of the iceberg. I have so much content and so many strategies and skills and mindset shifts. And I've worked with clients for years at a time. And what I'm doing here is I'm packing as much as I possibly can into one 60, 70-minute training. So there's going to be lots that's left out, and I want to make sure that you have everything that you need to take this information and run with it and have the most powerful results that you can. So there will be an opportunity at the end for you and I to connect. It's a no pressure offer. There's plenty in this web training for you to learn and grow from. And if you want to go deeper, there's an opportunity to do so at the end. Okay? So who the heck am I? I am Bex Burton. Hey, and I'm a certified dream builder and love coach. And girlfriend, I have been there. I have been there. I've struggled in my love life. I have created extraordinary results. And you know, the path that I've walked has literally inspired me to step into this service. Right? 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I guess, I was a Pilates teacher, dance teacher, hula hoop specialist, personal trainer, nightclub performer, but all of that was working in the body, and primarily most of that was inspiring people to create outrageous results in their physical life, in their body, in their mobility, in their injury recovery, and installing the belief in them that they could live a bigger life, have better results than they ever could imagine. Okay. And this is also what I've been able to do in my love life. So this is my man and I, that was earlier this summer. And when we came together, it was absolutely life-changing. I had struggled in my love life for a very long time. And to meet this outrageous, extraordinary, high-quality, commitment-minded man was literally life-changing. This man holds me in the highest regard as his equal, his best friend, his lover, his confidant. There's literally nothing that I cannot do in his presence. You know, we've been together now for 7 years and counting. And girl, that is longer than double my longest relationship. I was in a pattern of getting to a 2.5 year point in all of my relationships, if they ever got to relationships. And then I would internally combust. But this relationship with Nick is the first time that I've ever been able to grow with somebody. And he and I are constantly growing and improving individually and together so that we can have the most over-the-top marriage possible. But like I said, it was not always like that. For over a decade, for about 13 years, I struggled to attract a partnership that felt equal, that felt as though I could grow in instead of grow out of. Like I would consistently be in either attracting unavailable men or be attracting a relationship that I would be evolving beyond. I would feel like I was pressed up against the seams of my own growth. which in that regard made the other person made me unavailable. So that was perpetuating my cycle of attracting unavailable men. And it took me a really long time to believe that I could have what I wanted, that it existed in the first place, and that I could have it. I was always interested in the guys that weren't good for me, and never interested, didn't even see the guys who were good and interested in me. I never could see them. So if you resonate with that, then you're absolutely in the right place. And I know that this training is going to be of great value and support to you. All right. So my Mr. Unavailables, and I know from speaking with so many of you, you feel this and you've experienced this, but my Mr. Unavailables came in a bunch of different costumes. I like to call them costumes because, you know, they're the same behaviors, but with different names and different faces, right? So they just had different costumes. But my Mr. Unavailables were either recently separated or divorced and not ready to commit. I think that there were even some married men in there that I was just wildly attracted to, just had super crushes on, that were absolutely unavailable, never acted on those, but just totally unavailable. The recently separated men, absolutely not ready to be in a place of commitment. My Mr. Unavailables were also workaholics who were only available for me on their timeline. So that's probably one of the most painful situations to be in, because there's a great attraction, there's great chemistry, there's great connection, but only on his timeline. So that is very, very much unavailable and definitely a deal breaker if that's not a deal breaker for you already. My Mr. Unavailables were also Peter Pans and party boys. And let's face it, those guys are real fun, but let's be real, they're a lot of fun, but when it comes down to establishing a life soul partnership, these guys just weren't available for it. Okay. So if you're experiencing these three different archetypes or different archetypes of unavailability, I know this training is going to be extremely supportive for you. There was a moment that I will never, ever forget. I call it my 3 a.m. moment. And I was living in Brooklyn, and I had been dating a friend for a few months who I really loved. I really just had respect for him. We had a great connection. I loved our time together. I mean, he was a neuroscientist. I mean, talk about like smart, sexy, hot, you know? And when we came together, we kind of came together casually on an agreement that neither one of us were really looking for something super serious. And that's where I thought I was at the time. Now, 3 months into our casual dating relationship, my feelings started to deepen and change, and I started falling in love with him. And when I brought this to him and I said, like, hey, I'd really love to see where this goes, he told me that his feelings hadn't changed and he just wasn't able to give me what I wanted. And after I got over being pissed off and like ego bruised, I recognized that he actually did me a huge favor in but being honest with me and telling me that he couldn't give me what I was looking for. But even still, I remember weeping until the early morning hours one night, really when this realization set in. You know, and at that point, I wasn't even crying about him, even though I knew that I had to release him with blessing. I knew I had to move on. I knew that I knew that he wasn't my person. But I was weeping just more so about my situation. You know, I knew I had to end things, but that wasn't the most painful bit. The most painful bit here for me was I just knew deeply in my heart that I was better off alone than trying to make this relationship different than it was, which is something that I had done historically in my life. Well, you know, if I just try harder, if I just give him more of my time, if I just give over more of my power, he'll fall in love with me. And I just knew, I knew finally that that was not going to work. I was also weeping because I knew with every fiber of my being that I couldn't be with a man wanting more than he was able to give to me. You know, even when we broke up, he was saying like, you know, and then the breakup was lovely and beautiful. I spoke my truth and he was very understanding. And then he said, well, you know, we could still like, you know, get together and have fun. And I said to him, I was like, no, we can't. And that was truly one of the most powerful boundaries, the most powerful lines in the sand that I could have drawn for myself in service to my vision of outrageous lasting love, that I know was one of the most powerful seeds that I planted in calling Nick into my life. But boy, girl, it was flipping hard. I was weeping at how difficult it was. I was weeping because deep down, I felt like, well, hell, I'm back at square one. Now I have nobody in my life. Now I'm at zero. And I felt like if he didn't want me, good God, who would? You know, I was just in this terrible cycle of believing that every man I would meet from there on out, I would just experience the same thing. Deep, deep connection that was unrequited and a relationship that was going nowhere. And if you've been there before, my heart seriously goes out to you because, again, it just doesn't have to be that way. You know, in the weeks that followed, I developed a specific heart tuning system that allowed me to attract Nick into my life. Like I was saying, you know, and one of those things is drawing those powerful boundaries and really protecting my personal energy. The system that had me tuning my mind, my heart, and my soul to the frequency of love to become the vibrational match, the magnet to attract my person. And today I call this system Your Majesty. And this is the system that I use to coach driven, ambitious, busy boss ladies like you in attracting outrageous, lasting love. So here's the system. You can kind of see it here. I've blurred out a couple of the points here because we're only going to be diving into a couple of things here. But in the system, there are three main tunings. Tunings of the heart, tunings of the mind, tunings of the spirit, the soul. And the first one is tuning your attitude. And that's tuning your belief system, the way that you approach love, relationships, the way that you think about yourself in terms of relationship, the way that you think about men, your belief system, your attitude. And today we're going to get into a little bit of establishing and installing beliefs that align with your vision. And we're going to work with connecting with your intuition and your deep inner knowing. Okay, so those are the elements that we're going to draw from the tuning your attitude element. We're also going to tune your personal energy. And this is where we're going to spend the most time today in this training. We're gonna address some of the anxious little girl energy that happens when we encounter high quality men. I know for a lot of the busy boss ladies that I work with, there's this power to them until they get in front of a really good looking available man, and then they turn into like an 8-year-old puddle of mush. So we're gonna play with that, and we're gonna close up those energetic leaks that perpetuate the old patterns. So that's tuning your personal energy, honing your personal energy. And just for your reference, that boundary that I set for myself when I was breaking up with my guy, you know, I said, no, we can't get together and knock boots and whatnot. That is part of tuning your personal energy, just shoring up the way that you're leaking your energy instead of honing it like a laser beam, attracting your outrageous lasting love. The third pillar of the Your Majesty system is tuning your synergy with men. So this is the way that you relate with men, how you show up for men. All right. And again, we're going to get into trusting your intuition and your body wisdom in your sorting and selecting process. All right. So we're going to get into the body wisdom here. So honestly, you know, these three tunings, these three pillars of the Your Majesty system, they're not linear. They work in conjunction with each other. And it wasn't until I was working these tunings simultaneously that my love life began to change. And I know without a shadow of doubt that it will have the same powerful effect on you when you tune into these aspects of yourself as well. Okay. So like I said, today I'm going to unpack a few pieces from each of these tunings that are going to help you break the pattern of attracting Mr. Unavailable and create the energy and the practice that will call in lasting love with a high quality man. Okay. So, and as you can see, this is just a fraction of the work that I do, just a fraction of the system. And even what's up here on the screen isn't even the totality of the Your Majesty system, but just for a visual, that's what I've got for you today. All right, so grab your notebook, and I want you to answer a couple of questions. I have a few questions for you. The first question is, how long have you had this longing for love in your life? How long has it been? Has it been a year, 3 years, 5 years? You know, when I went live with this training, I had women commenting that it's been 10 years, 12 years, 30 years, forever. So just note, how long has it been for you that you've desired this outrageous love? Next question. How long have you had disappointing results in love? How long have you not felt fulfilled? How long has it been since you felt like you were in a relationship where you were seen, honored, and cherished? How long has that been? And again, take note, write it down in your notebook. Let's be real. There's nobody checking your answers. Be real with yourself. Next question. How does it make you feel not having this love in your life? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What's coming up for you right now? Maybe there's tears. Maybe there's shame. But look, it's all okay. All right? Just notice what you're noticing right now. And next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to attract your great love now, yesterday? Are you a 10? Are you an 11? And get real with that answer too. Because if you're not taking action, if you're not out there meeting men and putting yourself out there and getting uncomfortable and stretching in these 3 areas of tuning, in your attitude, in your personal energy, in your synergy with men, then you're going to continue creating the same results, right? And we know what that feels like. It feels lonely. It feels sad. It feels tiring, exhausting, frustrating. And when we start to have these experiences and these results for long periods of time, then we start to get doubtful. We start to feel flawed, like there's something inherently wrong with us, which I will tell you is not true. But we still feel hopeless and even depressed. And I know because I've been there. So have a look at your answers from those 4 questions. And really feel into that longing in your heart. Feel that discontent with where you'd like to be in your life. Because feeling that empty space deeply and honestly is your strongest fuel for making this vision your reality. So let's begin. All right, who is Mr. Unavailable? All right, I know that you are painfully aware of who he is. So we're not going to belabor this. We're not going to spend too much time here, but I do want to get on the same page and make sure that we are both in understanding of exactly who he is. And my job here in this training is to get you to identify who he is way in advance of you giving him your heart. Okay? So Mr. Unavailable is A, unwilling to commit. So there's a number of ways that this shows up. He's either already in a relationship, which is the pretty obvious one, or he's unwilling to commit to relationship with you specifically. And the ways that this shows up is you have endless dates with this guy, or maybe endless messages that don't ever amount to an invitation or a date or an in-person meetup. There's just no clear path forward. Mr. Unavailable is unwilling to commit. Also, you can spot him if it's even difficult for you to nail down a specific time and date to meet up, right? And I'll elaborate on this one in just a moment. But if it's just even difficult for him to propose or suggest a meetup time, a location, chances are it's a bit of a red flag. All right. And if you've read the book Attached, what I love about that book is they identify smoking guns too. Smoking gun is like the precursor to the red flag. The red flag is the, oh shit, let's bail. The smoking gun is you're leaning in, you're paying attention, you're aware, but it's not necessarily yet the time to jump ship. Okay. Smoking guns versus red flags. Mr. Unavailable is unwilling to commit. Mr. Unavailable also doesn't put forethought into your time together. Oh, this is really a big one. And this kind of expands upon the guy that doesn't make the plan or is hard to nail down for a specific time and date. Like Mr. Unavailable in this case will give you vague generalizations of when he's available to see you, or even if you'll see him again, like, oh yeah, that sounds great, maybe this weekend. And then this weekend rolls around and you haven't heard from him, and you reach out to him or something, and he texts you back like, oh, my weekend got so busy, and maybe we can get together next week, but doesn't like take it forward, right? In this context of Mr. Unavailable not putting forethought into your time together, he's also the guy that will text you last minute to see if you're around. You know, and there are some ways that that's okay, but in most cases, that's just not okay, especially right there at the beginning. Okay, Mr. Unavailable, he is also interested, this guy, in physical connection only. I know you know this guy. He's the guy whose invitations are always to come over to his place, or asking if he can come over to your place, wanting to know if you're down to Netflix and chill, or, you know. And here's the thing about this guy. We can spot him from a mile away. This guy is often the perpetuator of eye roll energy. And if you've been following me for a while, you know what eye roll energy is. It's the, oh, really? But here's the thing, and this is a great opportunity to step up the way that we react, because this guy is connecting at the level that he knows how. You know, and of course, there are so many other ways that we can connect on a physical level than on a physical level. There would be an emotional level, a spiritual level, even an intellectual level, a humoristic level, so many other levels of connecting. But this guy, this Mr. Unavailable, this is really the level of evolution that he's reached. All right. So there's a space for compassion for him. All right. Mr. Unavailable can also be passive or otherwise not in pursuit. I think you're getting a theme here about the pursuit, right? The pursuit is definitely an indicator of a high quality, relationship ready man. But the guy that is showing up in a passive way, what that means is that it always feels like you're the one driving the relationship forward. You're the one saying what you want. You're the one keeping the conversation going. You're the one giving him direction. You're the one making things happen. And he's coming along for the ride, pleased as punch to be with you, but not putting any effort in. All right. And this is very, very common for driven, ambitious, busy boss women, because we show up at our masculine, we're like, get shit done. And the men who are attracted to that are the men who are more passive. And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that style, that dynamic of relationship. But from what I know from speaking with so many of you, that dynamic doesn't work for you. And that's totally fine. You're looking for a man in pursuit, a man in his masculine, a driven man, a man with ambition that matches yours, and a vision that matches yours. Okay, so nothing, again, and you'll get a theme here too, that there's nothing really wrong with Mr. Unavailable. He's just not your guy. And the sooner we can spot that, the sooner we can move on and hold our space for the right one. Mr. Unavailable is also unwilling to share his emotions. And this shows up in a lot of different ways. This guy lives in his ego. And he's like Mr. Suave. He's Mr. Cool. The problem with that is he's unwilling to show you who he really is. You know, he's the guy who's unwilling to show you any weaknesses or any vulnerability. He's the guy that's unwilling to admit that he doesn't know something. And on top of that, what's even worse is that he's the guy that doesn't share with you any indication of his connection with you, of his feelings about you. Like, instead of saying like, wow, I I'm so impressed by you. I've loved meeting you. I can't wait to see you again. He's the kind of guy that's playing it cool. Like, yeah, yeah, maybe this weekend works. Let me give you a call Friday, you know? So again, these are just some of the red flags that Mr. Unavailable shows up with. All right. Now let's just pause here for a moment. And I want you to like touch base here internally, because more so than his actions and behaviors, our body can give us clues in advance of the fact that we're dealing with a Mr. Unavailable. So think about the last guy that you engaged with that was unavailable, and ask yourself, how does it feel in your body? How does we'll go deeper into this in just a moment, but I want you to ask yourself, just in general, engaging with Mr. Unavailable, how does that feel in your body? You know, make a note of any sensation you resonate with, because I'm going to go through a few of them here. There's tightness, there's constriction, there's uneasiness that we feel when we're dealing with Mr. Unavailable. There's neediness, there's anxiousness, anxiety. There's a feeling of grasping, and there's definitely a feeling of ungroundedness, like you have no solid ground beneath you. So if you recognize any of these sensations, these are powerful allies in you breaking the pattern of attracting Mr. Unavailable. And I'll get into that in just a moment. For now, though, I want to talk about how we as women consciously and unconsciously attract Mr. Unavailable, because it takes two to tango, sister, and it's a two-way street. And there are definitely things that we're doing that are not serving us. All right. For one, comparing your journey of attracting great love with others' journey. Like an example of that might be like, oh, God, why is it so flippin' hard for me? It was so easy for my sister. She practically fell into her marriage. You know, you can sense the anger, the frustration, the comparison. And comparison just robs you of your own learning and growth. And on top of that, not only that, what it's doing, the energy that it's putting out there, the magnetic energy, is putting out there, I just want easy love. I just want it to be easy. I just want something to fall into my lap. But the truth is, you've got that. Like you've got that, and you've had that in some of your Mr. Unavailables. You might even have that in like kind of the annoying guys that like you aren't interested in. Like the guy that visits your desk every morning and asks you all these banal questions that you're just like, oh my God, I just got to get to my work. You know, that's the easy guy, you know, but you're not interested. And he might not be up to caliber. He might not be the right quality of man that you're seeking, but that's what easy love looks like. And that's what we get when we ask for easy, or when we're comparing ourselves with others and saying that it's so hard for us. Why is it so hard for me? Okay. We attract Mr. Unavailable in collecting evidence of why you can't have what you want. All right. And we're going to go deeper into this one in just a moment, but this is the behavior of leaping to stories about why you can't have what you want if you don't get a second date with someone you like, or if the guy doesn't text you back for 3 days. You know, we start to draw conclusions. We start to leap to stories about why it is. And then it's like a runaway freight train of like, oh my God, it's always going to be like this. I'm never going to find that. I know, because I've been there. So like I said, we'll dig into this one deeper in just a moment, and I'll walk you through a practice that you can implement in your love life immediately to help you break the cycle of this leaping to stories, leaping to conclusion, getting hijacked by that runaway freight train of fear. Okay. Mr. Unavailable, we attract him by being overly cautious with what we say to men, or otherwise hiding elements of who you are, or being too much. How many of you out there fear that you're too much, that you're just too much to handle? You're going to have to dim your light, or you're going to have to settle for something less than extraordinary. I, for sure, feel that deeply. I felt that deeply. That was my story. I felt like I was way too much for anybody to handle. But the truth is, and what this perpetuates, how this attracts Mr. Unavailable, is that we cannot hide our true selves forever. You know that as much as I do. And it's the real you that your man is going to fall in love with. You know, it's like When we dim our light, when we hide and only show up 80% of ourselves, we're boxing ourselves into this limited reality, this limited expression of our authentic true being. And so that starts attracting a man who can only meet our needs 80%, or only measures up as much as we are offering to the world. All right. So we got to break out of that box. We got to live as big and outrageous and radically authentic as possible, radically authentic as we truly possibly can, to attract the right guy, the one that is available and in hot pursuit of you, my dear. We attract Mr. Unavailable. Oh, this one is just so surprising, but it's so true. Scrolling endlessly and mindlessly on your online platforms without purpose or intention. I know you're guilty of it. I was too. You know, these days it's so easy. We've got a smartphone, we've got all the apps on the phone, and it's so easy to be waiting in line at the post office, or, you know, in between appointments, sitting in a waiting room, just scrolling, swipe, 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 swipe. And there's no purpose, there's no intention, there's no direction to that. And what we get back, the energy that we're putting back out, that is reflected back to us in those instances, are directionless, unintentional interactions, or men that lack vision, men that lack ambition. They're unavailable in the sense that they don't live up to what we are calling in, and they're unavailable to themselves, truly. Another way that we attract Mr. Unavailable is when we are casually dating Mr. 80%, waiting for Mr. 100% to show up. Okay, so going back to my story that I shared at the top of our meeting, you know, I was dating this friend, and it became so crystal clear to me, because thank God he was honest with me and told me that he was not interested in going deeper or carrying the relationship forward. He just didn't have time. He was finishing his PhD. He knew himself enough to be honest with me, thank God. But had I not heard that, and men will tell you exactly what they mean. Women may not, but men will tell you exactly what they mean. Had I not heard that, had I not paid attention to it, had I not heeded that and drew my own boundary, shored up my own personal energy, and had I kept moving on forward with him, I would have nothing. I would have only like 20% left over to attract somebody who fully met me, fully realized my vision of outrageous lasting love. So when you're casually dating Mr. 80%, you are literally unavailable. And when you're unavailable physically, emotionally, your emotional energy is being spent on Mr. 80%. Your physical energy is spent on Mr. 80%. There's no room for Mr. 100% to show up fully in your life. All right. This is very similar. Mr. Unavailable can show up, or Mr. Unavailable, how we attract Mr. Unavailable, how we perpetuate the cycle, is hooking up with our ex, passing time with someone who we've had relationship with before, but somewhere in our being we know is not our person, otherwise we'd still be in a relationship with him. But again, here you're literally unavailable because you're spending your time, your energy, your intimacy, your sacred intimacy, your soul, your light, and you're spending this on someone who either has made it clear to you, or you know deep in your being that is not your person. You know, and the thing that I hear from women is that, well, my ex popped back up into my life and I haven't had sex in a long time, or I haven't had physical touch. I haven't had a good laugh in a really long time. So we went out and fill in the blank, right? But the truth is, and going back to what I said at the top of our call, is that when we deny ourselves the longing, when we deny ourselves the feeling of discontent, when we put a Band-Aid over that by hooking up with an ex or spending time with Mr. 80%, the guy that we know is not our person, we're putting a Band-Aid remedy on what needs open heart surgery. I just want that to land, because again, that longing, that discontent, the sadness, the loneliness, the frustration, the anger, all of those feelings are your greatest fuel to creating transformation and becoming the woman, stepping into the absolutely high quality available woman you need to be to attract a high quality relationship ready man. okay? We attract Mr. Unavailable when we make men wrong for not being the one. You know, I talked about this in my story when I recognized that my neuroscientist wasn't my guy, or he said that he wasn't interested in taking the relationship forward. Girlfriend, I was ready to flip the table, throw the match on, and like walk out, like, you know, like Waiting to Exhale style, right? Where the whole building blows up behind her. Beyonce, she, you know, bashing the car with a baseball bat. The problem with this is that that energy that we're putting out there is disconnecting energy with men. We are literally severing ties with that man. We're making him wrong. And when we make him wrong, we're making ourselves wrong. We're making all men wrong, and we're just creating more distance. All right. And what we want is we want to create more synergy with men, more synergy with ourselves, more synergy with men. Because when we make men wrong, we're perpetuating this cycle. We're putting that angry energy out there, that expectation energy out there, attached to the outcome. It didn't go my way. So controlling, so restrictive. That is not the vibrational match for outrageous lasting love. All right, and I'm going to keep coming back to this idea of the vibrational match, because that truly is, again, we get to step into, we get to be the woman that is the high level available woman, and be the vibrational match for this 100% man who's in hot and heavy pursuit of you. Another way that we attract Mr. Unavailable is holding on to our historic traumas. So if you're reliving the past, if you are unable to release or forgive, let go and move on, like if you have an ex-husband that ran you through the ringer of a divorce and it's 5 years later and you are still just shaking your fist at him, sister, again, you are not the vibrational match for outrageous lasting love. You're the vibrational match for a fist shaking relationship. And no doubt that is what you're attracting. But releasing, forgiving, surrendering, all of these things are not easy tasks. So I feel you. I totally get you. And again, the tool that we're going to move into, I deeply believe will support you. And one of my favorites, this is a big one because I hear this from women all the freaking time. Another way that we attract Mr. Unavailable is when we disconnect from source energy, God, spirit, the universe, and our own divine intuition. I deeply believe that they're all connected. It's all one and the same. Our intuition, is the voice of our heart, is the way that God speaks through us, is source energy, source, the universe. When we're together with our beloved, that is also creating source energy. I believe that it's all one and the same. But the problem is that us driven, ambitious women, we've got big goals, big vision, we've got things to do, much to accomplish, a to-do list, checklist, and so we're living neck up. We're living up here in our head. We're living up here in our logic, which also means we're living in our fear center, which is in the back of our head. And what's happening is that we're exiling the rest of us, our heart, our body wisdom. We're exiling these crucial elements from the process of attraction. We're exiling our emotions. We're only focusing on the low vibration emotions that don't feel good, but are so ever present. And what's happening is we're relying on our mortal brain, our human brain and logic, which again, also contains that fear center, right? We've got an inner dialogue upstairs, one that supports the vision and one that supports the limitation, that you can't have what you want, right? Which conversation are you going to feed? Which conversation are you going to lean into and listen to, support, and participate in? So if you're doing any of these behaviors, first of all, give yourself a great big hug of compassion, because the truth is that this is very common. This is very normal. It's very human. You're passing the human test. All right. And these behaviors, none of them are death sentences. And they all can be moved through. All right. But these are ways that we leak our personal energy. All of these instances, all of these examples, we're leaking the personal energy instead of honing it, like I said before, like a laser beam, like a tractor beam, pulling in, attracting our great love. All right. The truth is, the reason why we engage in these behaviors is that there's some part of us deep down that doesn't believe that we can have what we want, or doesn't believe we deserve what we truly desire. So what we end up doing is we act out, we try too hard, we give away our power, and what's happening here though is it's our subconscious worthiness conversation at play that's really holding us back and having us show up in ways that are inauthentic to our true selves, inauthentic to the vision of great love that we hold in our hearts. And when we don't believe we're worthy, our behavior shows it. We get anxious. We get impatient. I know you do. We get frustrated. We get doubtful. And all of these emotions, these lower vibration experiences, lead us to engaging in activities and behaviors that chip away the powerful magnetic energy it takes to attract quality, commitment-minded men. I mean, think about it. When you're anxious, when you're impatient, when you're frustrated, when you're in doubt, are you being the vibrational match for that which you desire? No, you've got this like face on, like Steven does here. So our personal energy, again, it gets leaky when we are paying attention to the conversation that supports our limitations. It's a vicious cycle. It's a pattern. And until we shore up that personal energy, we are going to continuously attract Mr. Unavailable. So let me introduce you to a client of mine. Her name is Austin. And when Austin came to me, she was leaking personal energy with a Mr. 80% like nobody's business. She had met this guy on vacation like 2 years before we started working together. And in those 2 years, he was kind of in and out of her life. When they first met, it was like being shot out of a cannon. Instant connection, deep connection, soul level connection. Deep conversations, emotional connection. And then when they parted ways, he disappeared. But then he would show up. He would call her out of the blue, pop back into her life like nothing, no time had passed, and start, what is the term? Breadcrumbing her. Have you guys heard of the term breadcrumbing? That's when you're being fed the crumbs, but you're not being given the whole loaf. But they're, and men do this. And it's not about making them wrong, but just about awareness of the unavailable patterns of the patterns of unavailable men. The breadcrumb, they'll string you along while they're looking for something better. So she was being breadcrumbed, she was being strung along, and by the time we started working together, she was in so much confusion and distress, because he, again, called her out of the blue, was wanting to meet up with her. And she deeply cared for him, but she didn't feel like a priority in his life. And when we sat down and we got crystal clear on exactly what she was calling in, what she truly deeply desired in not only her life, but her love life, we recognized that this man was just not in alignment with that. He wasn't treating her like a priority. And that was a deal breaker. That was something that she truly desired to have in partnership. And shortly after she made the difficult decision to release him with blessing, an incredible man who was ready and eager to commit stepped into her life. And she got to realize her vision of mutually committed love. And look at how cute they are. And here they are. And I think that they're at some development workshop together. They're doing their work together. How beautiful is that? Austin is a great example of how shoring up leaky energy, seeing her own worthiness of outrageous lasting love, and stepping into her power helped her become a magnet for a relationship ready man. And I know that the same can be true for you. And that might not be where you're leaking your energy, but the chances are there's some area where your energy is just being spent instead of honing it and laser focusing it on attracting outrageous, lasting love. So what do we do to break the pattern of Mr. Unavailable and attract a high quality relationship ready man? What do we do? Well, first, I want you to really hear me on this because this is huge. The body is an ally in your process. So let me give you some context, some examples. Do you ever notice like shoulder and neck tension after a particularly stressful day at work? I know I have a kink in my left shoulder. Sometimes it moves to my right shoulder, but like, man, if I am just going for it, I know that like at the end of the day, I've got this incredible knot. Sometimes it takes several days to release. Or have you ever felt the giddiness or the butterflies in your stomach when maybe you caught a whiff that you were going to get a promotion, or maybe you got like your biggest client ever, and or you hit a business goal, and you caught whiff of something happening. Maybe it was like you went out on a date with a really attractive, high quality man, and you're really excited about it. You feel those butterflies in your belly. It's another way the body is giving you information. Or maybe you've had an absolute flood fest, a weeping session after a really deep yoga class. I know, just a heart-opening, weeping moment, either like you're laying in Shavasana and all of a sudden the waterworks just, open up. This is your body giving you information, your body being an ally in your process. The truth is the body doesn't lie. The body responds before the mind. And we will have sensations in the body before we experience a thought or emotion. And there's a way to capitalize on this. There's a way to harness this energy to use it in our favor. So let's go through this process. All right. I want you to close your eyes, place a hand over your heart. Take a deep breath. Now, I want you to think about the last Mr. Unavailable you engaged with. Maybe it was your ex-husband. Maybe it was a boyfriend. Maybe it was a guy that you really dug on your online dating profile, and you reached out to him and you started a conversation and he never wrote back. But bring that person into mind. Now, I want you to take a scan of your body for what's coming up for you right now. First, pay attention to any sensations going on inside. What do you notice about your temperature, your heart rate? So really feel inwardly right now. Feel into the specific areas of your head, your shoulders, your chest, your gut, your pelvis. Do you feel tension or tightness? Do you feel constriction or ease? Do you feel heaviness or levity? Do you feel smallness or fullness? Go ahead and open your eyes, because what's happening here is what happens in your love life that perpetuates the cycle of Mr. Unavailable. And let me break it down for you quickly here, because I want to help support you, because you can do that scan that we just did on your first date, after your first date, engaging with a man online, in conversation in real life. I'll take you through that process again in just a moment. But I want you to recognize that the nervous system is reacting to historic experience. The nervous system is equating this new scenario with something from the past, right? Our brain has a natural function called pattern recognition. And what happens is our nervous system starts to experience that this new experience as familiar and wants to replicate the experience. So the brain is seeing this new person in your life, pattern recognition is kicking in, and then the brain starts to recognize this as familiar. Oh, I've had these conversations before, and starts to feel familiar, starts to feel comfortable, wants to replicate this. So the sensations then feel familiar and the brain seeks to replicate them. And these feelings then become your magnet, what you're attracting more of in your life. The brain is drawing from the blueprint that already exists in your history and looking to recreate it with the new scenarios. And that's why we leap to conclusions. That's why we try harder. That's why we offer more of our time, our energy. We double down and we give away our power. And we ourselves are unavailable in that moment. So in order to do differently, we have to shift the nervous system and open to new experience. And the way we do that is through a paradigm shift, through shaking up the nervous system, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the PNS. There's a number of ways that we can do that. We can do that through breath. We can do that through movement, through touch, through laughter, so many ways. So let's take this breath again. Place a hand over your heart, eyes closed. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And one more time, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And really feel the weight of your hand on your chest, the warmth of your skin, touching yourself. Now stay behind closed eyes. And from this place, go back to that most recent Mr. Unavailable. Bring him into your heart. Ask yourself this question. What did I love or appreciate about the experience of relating with him? What did I love? What you loved is what you want more of from your beloved. Wow, I really loved the way that he asked me questions. I really loved the way that he pulled the chair out and opened the door for me. I really loved the way that he asked me how I was feeling. What did you appreciate is a little bit different. It may not be exactly what you want more of from your beloved, but you appreciated the fact that he showed up in this way. An example of that would be, well, I didn't really love that he canceled on me last minute, but I really appreciated that he got on the phone with me and instead of sending a text message and rescheduled right there on the nose. You know, in my circumstance, I really didn't love hearing from my neuroscientist that he didn't want a relationship with me, but I really appreciated that he was fucking honest with me. Pardon my language, but like it really was so strong. I recognized that, how powerful that was. And when I leaned my energy into the appreciation, I am becoming the vibrational match for that which I desire. But the breath, the movement, all of that PNS activation is what gets us out of the cycle so that we can reach for love and appreciation. 2 more questions for you here. I want you to answer this question about your last Mr. Unavailable. In what ways were you getting what you wanted? In what ways were you getting what you wanted? You know, I have a client right now who is adamant. That is her story. I just can't have what I want. I'm going to have to settle. That's her story. That's the belief system that we're just slowly chipping away at. And she's showing up high vibration. She's engaging online and offline. She's doing all the right things. And she keeps coming back after first date, after first date, after first date, saying like, it's not him. It's not him. It's not him. He's not this. He's not this. And when we started to look at, okay, what is he then? She started to realize that, wow, she is getting what she wants. It's not complete in the package yet, but she had a guy show up who was financially stable. She had a guy show up who was an entrepreneur and had a freedom lifestyle. She had another guy show up that had steamy chemistry, and they had like this hot makeout session. So 3 different men. Yes, it's not the complete package yet, but when she started to look and recognize that she's getting elements of what she desires in each one of these men, that perception and that tool, that skill is drawing you closer. You're becoming the vibrational match because you're recognizing that you're getting more and more of what you want. One more question here. What did I love or appreciate about how I showed up? All right. And this is an opportunity for you to show up for yourself, to be available to you, to love up on yourself, for putting yourself out there, for getting uncomfortable, for doing something new, for reaching for a new belief system, a new strategy, a new communication technique. What do you love and appreciate about how you're showing up in this situation? Okay, if you haven't already, I want you to write all these things down and let these questions become a practice of yours. These are drawn straight from my signature sowing seeds practice that all of my clients get. And all of my clients answer all of these questions and more after every first date. We go back and reflect on all the last relationships. They answer these questions even after text messaging exchanges, whether they go somewhere or not. But any man who's entering your orbit, I want you to be asking yourself these questions about him, about yourself. Okay? And now feel the new sensations in your body. Take a scan just right now that you've identified what you loved and appreciated about him, about yourself. Feel for your temperature, internal temperature, your heart rate, your tension, tightness, your constriction or ease, your heaviness or levity, your smallness or fullness. What's different? Your body is supporting you in giving the information, the feedback that you're a vibrational match for that which you desire. Okay? So again, in order to break the pattern and install the new one, break the pattern of attracting unavailable men, break the pattern of anxiety, doubt, fear, worry, concern, stress, and install a new one. It's coming. It's happening. It's unfolding in my favor. It's happening now. I'm closer now than I ever have been before. We have to interrupt the nervous system response. And again, we do this through installing new beliefs. We do this through breath. We do it through movement. We do it through laughter, touch, so many other ways. But those are the four main ones that I play in. And that is what creates the space where we can install the new belief and we can experience the new sensations. We can reach for a new decision, a new action that's in alignment with your vision. And once these become familiar and recognizable, again, the brain is going to want to replicate these new experiences, these new sensations. It's amazing how it works. It's basic, but it's not easy, right? Okay, so I've given you a lot of information today. I've given you a lot of identifiers, qualifiers, systems, and tools and mindset shifts. And the truth is that, again, this is literally just a fraction of the work. And I want to make sure that you have everything that you need to put these steps into practice. I know without a shadow of a doubt, you can take all of this information and you can run with it and create amazing results. You can elevate the quality of men who are entering your orbit. You can even attract relationship-ready men in pursuit. I absolutely believe that. And some of you may want to go deeper. Some of you may want some accountability, some personal attention, some coaching, some feedback, some hand-holding, so that you can really master these steps and get your results sooner. I mean, that is one of the biggest benefits of working with a mentor, a coach, or in a community, is that you cut your learning curve and you get your results sooner than if you were to do this on your own. And if you're one of those women who wants to get those results sooner and you want to cut your learning curve, I have an opportunity for you to speak with me. Because the truth is, I can absolutely help you if you're truly committed, if you're truly ready. So you're at a choice point right now. You can keep on going the old way, like you came into this web training, lonely, tired, sad, frustrated, exhausted, disconnected and feeling flawed, hopeless, doubtful, waiting for someday for the right man to show up. And sister, that was me. I know how hard it can be when you're falling into every trap by doing this yourself. I know, I did that for a very long time. Or you can end all of that today And you can reach out for support and apply for a deep dive diagnostic love attraction strategy call with me. This call is going to help us find out what's really going on in your love life. Okay? Together, we're going to find the stories and beliefs that are sabotaging you. We're going to find out the belief system, the attitude around love that you have that might be holding you back. We'll look at self-sabotaging energy leaks, the way your personal energy needs to be tuned. And we'll also look at the breakdown that you have in relating with men. So we'll look at ways that you can tune your synergy with men. All right? All in all, we're going to be looking at the things that are in your blind spots, the things that you may not even be privy to, but I, as a trained professional, my ears can pick up on them lightning fast. And what we'll do together is I will give you some next steps. I'll give you a plan. If not a plan, a resource or a tool that you can use so that you can move forward, that you can break through this thing, whatever it is that's holding you back in your love life right now. And we'll recruit your body, your mind, your spirit into the process, because it's not just a neck up experience. It's a full body, full spirit experience of attracting great love. Okay? I have the power, the work that I do has the power to free up mental bandwidth so that you can just be flipping done with this part of your life and use that part of your brain and your attraction powers to something else. You'll be able to live closer to your authentic self. You will have more fun if you follow the plan that I lay out for you, for sure, especially if you jump into working with me. You will have more fun in your dating process. You will up-level the quality of men who are entering your orbit. I hear this from women all the time. Within weeks of starting to work with me, they are shocked at the turnaround in the quality of men who are showing up for them. You will also attract more dates with these high quality men. Now, it's not about going out on as many dates as you can. For some women, that's a strategy, and that's totally cool. But for the women who are attracted to my work, it's more about getting out there on fewer dates with higher quality men, okay? And we have the potential to step you into a place of finally enjoying the mutual bliss of lasting love. All right? Just think about that for a moment. So what I've done is I've set aside some time to speak with you and personally connect with you about how you can apply these steps into your love attraction journey, how you can recruit your mind, your body, your soul into tuning your attitude, your personal energy, your synergy with men. And this call is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. There's no cost to you. I do have some pre-qualifiers though. So you'll notice that there's a link on the screen, and I'll make sure that you have that link in the email as well. I want to just say though that this call isn't really for everybody, because the truth is I can help you, but there's a certain woman that I can help and create the maximum effect with, the greatest results. Okay, so if you are a driven, ambitious woman, a busy boss woman, like somebody who is top of their field. I spoke with a woman just the other day, and she said that she's the top of her field in her country, but you still struggle in love. This call is for you. If you're ready and committed to take action now, this call is for you. So if you are researching and gathering information, that's totally, totally cool. I personally invite you to research and gather information. And if you want to work with somebody as a mentor or a coach, to make sure that you're working with the right person, by all means. But if you've been following me for a while, or if you trust your intuition, you trust yourself, and you know with every fiber of your being that I am the one to guide you, to mentor you, to hold you in space through this journey, this call is for you. All right, girl, you got to be open to a deep and honest conversation. You got to be open to getting real, getting raw, getting vulnerable. Even if you cry on the phone call, that's totally cool. I want the real you. I want the complete 100% unabridged, authentic version of you showing up on this call. And if you're willing to go there, this call is for you. If you're willing to receive direction and mentorship, this call is for you. You know, I will get on the phone with I have in the past, and I no longer will get on the phone with somebody who suffers from I know that syndrome. Everything about the plan that I lay out for them, or everything that I notice and call out and recognize in them, oh, I know that, oh, I know that, oh, I know that. You know, and when we suffer from I know that syndrome, we're cutting off our own personal growth and development. We're not allowing ourselves to take action. We're not allowing ourselves for the body, the soul, to be part of the process. We're just living upstairs, living in the I know that, or I've done that, that didn't work for me. Well, girl, you're a new woman today than you ever were before. So if you are of that mindset, you're of that spirit, you're ready to be coached, you're ready to receive mentorship, I want to talk to you. I also want to talk to you if you're strong in all other areas of your life. Like you've got a rockin' career, you've got a rockin' set of friends, you're financially sound. This is the pain point in your life. Then my work is going to be incredibly powerful for you. All right. But if you're struggling in other areas of your life and you have a multi-focus, you're distracted by making ends meet, or you're distracted by, you know, this new job offer or something like that, then it may not be time. And that's totally okay too. But I know that there are women out there who are just like banging their head up against the wall because they've experienced so much success in all other areas of their life and they just cannot make this work. I want to talk to you. All right. I also want to talk to you if you're ready to experience a huge difference in your love life. If you're just ready, if you have drawn that line in the sand, if you have had your 3 a.m. moment and you're just ready to take the plunge, do something new, get uncomfortable, stretch yourself, I am absolutely ready to talk to you. Okay. So, oh, and one more thing, if you're ready to be done, if you're ready to be done because you found him, girl, this call is for you. So all of these things are the prerequisites for this call. And listen, again, this may not be the right time for you, and that's totally cool. But if it is, click the link at the top of the screen, or click the link in your email, and let's get some time on the calendar to support you in breaking through these patterns, kick Mr. Unavailable to the curb so that you've got space and room in your life and you are available. You're showing up as the high quality woman that is attractive to your outrageous man, your outrageous high quality relationship ready man. Again, the call is absolutely free. If I can support you and in the work that I do, if I can move the needle on your process, then we both win. Okay. Like I said before, I will be giving you an invitation. If I feel a spark, if I feel like I can absolutely make magic, if we together can make magic happen in your love life, girl, I'm going to invite you to whatever. I mean, I have multiple ways of working with me, from a 90-day step-by-step course to 6 and 12-month private engagements. All right, at various different investment points, for money, investment of money, investment of your time. All of them are highly powerful, highly effective. And that invitation is possibly there on the table. So I just want you to know up front that we may be having that conversation. Because again, I would be doing you a disservice if I let you sit there and tell me all the things that are wrong with your love life and then just let you go without taking any action. Okay? There is absolutely no pressure. Again, the call is absolutely free, but let's connect. Let's see what's there. Let's see what's possible. And now, just before we wrap up, I want you to ask yourself, like, close your eyes for a minute. Take another breath. I want you to ask yourself, what's it going to feel like? And again, pay attention to those sensations in your body. What's it going to feel like when you're finally done? When you're on the phone, calling your family, texting your girlfriends, I'm done. All capital letters, exclamation points. I found him. I found the one. He found me. What's it going to feel like when there's no more waiting, wishing, hoping? There's no more some days, because it's here now, today, in this present moment. What's it going to feel like in experiencing a man in your orbit who's in full-on pursuit mode? Clear intentions. You know exactly where you stand with him. He wants to spend time with you. He's desirous. What's it going to feel like when you are engaging with a man who's desiring a lifetime of partnership with you? So are you ready for a breakthrough? Are you ready to get to the other side and be seen, be known, be recognized as a high quality woman for high quality relationship ready men. Are you ready? Click the link, book the call. Let's see what's there. Let's see how together we can make magic happen in your love life. Okay? I promised you a free gift, and here it is. The link is on the screen. I will also drop that in the email that you get with this web training. The link is to my free gift, Too Wild to Be Coincidence. It is an ebook. It's a collection of outrageous love stories that are too wild to be coincidence. One of the things that I really hold in high regard in my life and in the lives of my clients is synchronicity. For lack of a better word, I'll call it magic. And I've experienced a lot of synchronicity and magic in all of the manifestation experiences that I've had, especially calling Nick into my life. And this is a collection of stories that have synchronicity and magic and a divine hand, the hand of God working together to bring these two people together. I know you're going to get a lot of inspiration from these stories. So click the link, download the ebook, get inspired, and that's it. I love you so much. I hope this has been really powerful for you. Take all of this and put it into practice. You know, that nervous system reset is so powerful. The scanning of your body, looking for internal sensations. This is something I want you to take out into the world and feel into after your first date, after speaking online with somebody, making eye contact from across the room. It's so powerful, and I absolutely know that it will change your life forever. Here is to your great love, and I'll see you again next time. I love you so much. Bye.